Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury beauty. And today we are going to be talking about La Bouche Rouge. So La Bouche Rouge, I have a few videos on items that have come out in the past from them, but they just recently released new highlighter sticks and blush sticks. So we're going to take a look at those. I picked up two of each. First, let's start with how they come packaged. So when you purchase a case, now the cases look like this. Okay, this is actually a previous one. This is a limited edition. You can get them engraved like I have here. You can also get like little hearts here. This is leather. They also have vegan leather cases. These are magnetic, and these same cases can fit the lipsticks, the lip balms, the highlighter sticks, and the blush sticks. They are a strong magnet. You've got the La Bouche Rouge logo on the top and a mirror on the bottom, so you can kind of see what it is. However, one of the great things to know, all La Bouche Rouge refills can be used with or without a case. So let me show you how the refills come and how the cases come. Now the cases come in a box like this. So you have a paper sleeve. This is all recyclable. And on the back of the box, it gives you some information about La Bouche Rouge. You know, it's just a little thing. You've got the La Bouche Rouge logo on the front. This is heavy duty cardboard. So this box, I would recommend like saving for like packaging for gifts and so forth. And then you have your case in here. There's also a little lift here. So if you would like to reuse just the box itself, you can take out this little insert that has the indentation essentially for the case. So this is the case then, and it'll just come just the case. Unless you purchase, like you can purchase like a set or something where you purchase the lipstick in or blush or highlighter in the case, and then if you purchase it from a department store, it typically will come inside here already. At least that's happened to me. I've also received them where they are still separate. So it depends on how you purchase it. But from La Bouche Rouge directly, you're going to get just the case in the box, and then your refill will come in a little cardboard tube, paper tube like this. Now this tube, again, it's pretty substantial cardboard, not as heavy duty as that box or anything. You can see how thin it is, but it's something that will definitely last. So if you don't want to purchase a case, you can definitely purchase just one of the refills and use it as is. You've got this little magnetic component down here that you can twist on your own, or you can snap it into the case. So let's take a look. So in the case, the lid part, which has the logo on the top, is going to be flat inside, but the side with the mirror, the bottom, has a little, area for this to snap in. So you just put this in, it'll snap in place. It's a strong magnet, so it'll go in place on its own, and then it twirls. You can easily mix and match these however you like. You can mix and match the lids. So, if you've run out of color combinations, you can definitely mix and match to your heart's content. Now, I only pulled this one out so I could show you how the engraving works. I believe you can get 3 letters engraved. When I got this engraved last year, it was still limited to 3 letters, or you can do like hearts and so forth. And typically you're gonna have 2 and then 1. So I chose to just do my initials, AJ. But, there's a variety of things that you can do on there. One thing to know, if you are looking to get these cases engraved, you do need to buy them directly from La Bouche Rouge. They do charge $15 for engraving. Definitely sign up for their emails though. Occasionally they'll have like a promotion. They recently had one where like customers could get a free lip balm with the purchase of, I forget what they had to purchase, but you could get a free lip balm. So refills typically retail for between $40 and $45. And then the cases are typically around $80 US. So let's start off with some swatches, and then we'll look at some demos and talk about my thoughts on these. This is the highlighter in Blanche, La Lumière Blanche. Now, La Bouche Rouge already has powder highlighter out. There's only one shade, just called La Lumière. To say I don't love it for me. It works well for people of slightly deeper skin tone, but I think if you are as fair as I am or more fair, it's just a little bit too dark, and I believe I actually passed that on to a friend, but I'll check on that. All right, so we've got Blanche here, which is white, and you can see there's a little bit of metallic-y sheen with these. It's not super strong metallic. You can see a bit more of the metallic with this rose shade here, but you don't see any glitter particles. The blanche, or the white shade, it looks a little bit more sparkly, but again, you don't actually see glitter pieces. And the rose just looks a little bit more metallic than the white does, in my opinion. So these are the two highlighters I picked up. And then I picked up two of the blushes. This is Le Blush Nude. And they describe this as a soft, delicate pink. I think of it more as more of a nude beige shade with a little bit of peach and a little bit of pink. It's definitely not going to run like cool, but it also doesn't really run that warm. If I had to pick, I'd say it runs warmer than it does cool, but it will work well on cooler, fair skin tones as well, which is what this color is designed for. So Le Blush Nude is the one that's recommended for fair skin tones, but many of the shades are recommended for multiple skin tones. One of the other ones that I really like, by the way, there are 5 shades here. This is Rose Pop. And I thought this was going to be a little bit more similar to Westman Atelier's Pop It. I thought it would be like more pink, but it's actually going to be more of a coral. This is actually described as just having a vibrant touch, and it says the Pop Pink blush illuminates the complexion in an instant. So these are the 2 blushes. These are the 2 highlighters. Let's take a look at the demos, and I'll talk a bit about the formula, and then we can come back and do some comparisons. So let's start off with the blushes. And again, I'll have the demos of the blushes and the highlighters running through the screen while we are discussing these. The formula for the blushes, it's really more of a satin matte on the skin. It doesn't look dry. It doesn't look wet and dewy either. There's a little bit more of that fresh face kind of look that you would get. It's like youthful. So I think it looks really beautiful because there is a touch of satin in there. It will reflect a little bit of the light, but it's definitely one of the more natural looking cream blushes. And I have to say, I think these feel very nice on the skin because they're not greasy, yet they, they still have the properties of a cream. So this is going to be a drier blush stick. The highlighter sticks are also on the drier side. Now, as for product weight, the blushes come with 4.5 grams of product, or 0.15 ounces. They're made in France and they have a 1-year shelf life. Whereas the highlighters have just slightly more product. They're 4.7 grams or 0.16 ounces. They're probably the exact same volume of product, but again, certain pigments will weigh more as well. And just like the blushes, these also have a 1-year shelf life and are made in France. As for the highlighters, as I mentioned, they are one of the drier cream highlighter formulas, which I think is nice. A lot of the highlighter sticks that have come out recently are a little bit more, they have a little bit more of an oily texture to them to give you kind of that glass look, that shine. This is meant to be a much more subtle highlighter. If you've been looking for a subtle cream highlighter that's easy to use and doesn't have like chunks of glitter, this might be a really good option. So we'll definitely be doing some comparisons. Now, just for how these formulas feel on the skin, I would have to say that the blush reminds me the most of the Clé de Peau cream blush in formula, because again, that's a little bit more of a drier product. This is gonna be a little bit drier than that, but again, I do think they have a similar finish on the skin. So that would be my closest comparison with the formula. As for the highlighter stick, it reminds me the most of the Surratt Torche Lumières in formula, but again, those actually have a little bit of glitter. So if you're looking for a non-glittery option that is more similar in formula to that, this is a good option. These are going to be more subtle though. The Surratt can definitely get a lot more radiant than these can. As for my thoughts on these, I've actually been wearing these for about 2 weeks now. And not every day, but on and off for about 2 weeks. And, at first I was kind of like, they're fine. They're okay. But the more I've used them, the more I have come to appreciate them. And I have to say, I do really like them. And I wouldn't hesitate to pick up more of these in the future. So I think they are a really nice product. And the refills for these run for $45 US. As I mentioned, there are currently 5 shades of the blush, and there are 4 shades of the highlighter, $45 US for each, and then the cases are $80 if you choose to have a case. So I have to say, I do really like them. Color-wise, I think my favorite is actually the La Blanche highlighter and the Rose Pop blush. So those are probably my 2 favorites of the ones I picked up, but I would like to pick up more of these in the future. So right now they are currently exclusive to the La Bouche Rouge website, but La Bouche Rouge is carried by Credo, which is a great place to purchase them, Saks, Neiman Marcus, places like that. So there are definitely going to be other retailers that will carry these at some point. Cases, they do frequently have limited edition color cases. The majority of the time you will see those a little bit later at Saks, but some of those cases always end up being completely exclusive to the La Bouche Rouge website. So let's start off with comparisons with the highlighters. We're going to start off with the Surratt Torche Lumières, and this one here is Rose Diamante. So I'm just going to put this one right here so you can kind of see how that compares. And if you look at that, the Surratt is going to be a little bit more pink. This rose from La Bouche Rouge is really going to be warmer than the Surratt, which is cooler in tone. And this one, it's also more metallic. You can see the sheen is a little bit different. The Rose Diamante has some glitter. This is Diamante, which really doesn't go with these. I just wanted to show you this one. This is one of my absolute favorites, but you can kind of see the finish pretty well by looking at these. You can see the difference. You can see that La Blanche definitely has a little bit more of a shimmery appearance to it like the Surratt does, but again, you don't really notice any glitter particles, whereas the rose shade is really more of a true metallic. This is the Givenchy Teint Couture Shimmer Powder in 01 Shimmery Pink. Really hard to get right now, but I wanted to compare this pink with it because this is a little bit warmer too, but you can see this is really more pink champagne compared to more of this peachy pink in the La Bouche Rouge. And I do still have the La Bouche Rouge highlighter. It is something that I will probably be passing on. But if you purchase this, this is the case that goes around it. You've got this heavy duty metal compact. Instead of a mirror, you have basically reflective metal here. And this is the highlighter. And again, there's only 1 shade of this. And it's a little bit deep and golden for me. Let's see here. We'll put it right up here because it doesn't really match those. But you can see how it's really more peachy gold. This is a Kjaer Weis cream highlighter, and I will have to check the name by pulling out this compact later, but just wanted to show you. Let me move this bracelet here. But this here is going to be fairly similar in color to the rose shade. Let me put those next to each other. All right, so let's look over here. And there you go. You can see the rose with that. This one here from Kjaer Weis is going to be a little bit more nude. It's a little bit more neutral, but it also has a little bit more brown in it, whereas the La Bouche Rouge is going to be more of that warm peachy pink. Westman Atelier Lit Up Stick in Lit Up. So this doesn't go, but I just wanted to show you kind of the finish here. It has more of this, like, let's make that a little darker here. But it's going to be more of like an iridescent blue pink kind of shade here. This is the Guerlain Terracotta Nude highlighter stick. And let's see, let's try to squeeze this right in between the 2 La Bouche Rouge shades. You can see this is going to be much deeper. It's more of a champagne shade. Look at the reflective qualities. It's kind of, this is more metallic. It's more radiant. It has a little bit of very finely milled shimmer. Again, this is going to have about the same amount of shimmer as you get with the white one, whereas the rose, again, you're not going to see that at all. Victoria Beckham Reflex Stick in Pearl. Let's put that right next to it. This one here you can see is going to be a little bit of a balmier formula. This is going to give you more of that wet look on your skin. It's a nice champagne shade, but again, the colors don't match up with the La Bouche Rouge shades that I picked up. And we're just going to look at two more. This is the Westman Atelier Super Loaded Tinted Highlighter in Peau de Santé. And let's also look at Peau de Rosé. So Peau de Rosé actually has a little bit of glitter in it. Peau de Santé does not. These are the two. And I've kind of run out of space here. So we're going to put these down here at the bottom. And I'm going to re-swatch the La Bouche Rouge. So let's put the La Bouche Rouge right next to it so you can kind of see the difference there. So color-wise, it's going to be more similar to Peau de Santé, but the color is different. And I feel like when you're looking at the rose from La Bouche Rouge, it looks pink. And then when the light hits it a certain way, you see more of an orange look to it. So let's move on to some blushes. This is the Clé de Peau Cream Blush in shade number 4. And this is my favorite cream blush. We're going to take a look at that right here next to La Nude Blush. You can see that this is going to be cooler. And even though it is called Perfect Peach, it really has a little bit more, it's more of a neutral shade. It's not as warm as a true peach. It has a little bit of mauve in it. It's just, this is like pretty much a universal shade. I mean, it's nearly universal. So as I mentioned, I feel like the formula, when these kind of like set down and so forth, they do have a similar appearance on the skin. Wear time, I would have to say the Clé de Peau lasts just a little bit better on me than the La Bouche Rouge, but the La Bouche Rouge really do last all day on me. I do notice some fading at the end of a long day though. Let's take a look at some of the Victoria Beckham blush sticks. So these are their Cheeky Posh sticks. We're starting off with Knickers, which is their Nude Peach shade. And let's go ahead, let's put that right here. You can see this is definitely going to be more of a true peach. And then the other shade, this is one of the new ones. This is Fever. This is the closest one that I have to the Rose Pop shade, but you can see Fever is going to be more orange. It's definitely more pigmented, more vibrant. It's a really great color for summer though. Next, we have the Chanel number 1 de Chanel blushes. This is number 2, Healthy Pink. And these are going to be more balmy. You can see how wet that looks on my skin there. And you know what? Let's try to squeeze that in right there. And that's going to be a little bit pinker than the nude shade, but that's going to be the closest to that. You can see this is also a little bit more pigmented. This is going to give you more of that wet look on the skin though. And then last up, I wanted to look at a few of the Westman Atelier cheek sticks. This here is Pop It. This is what I thought Rose Pop was going to be more like. I thought it'd be a little warmer than this, not quite as cool toned, but I thought it would be cooler in tone than it actually is. You can see that this is really more of a coral shade. Then we also have Minette, which is a peach. This one has a little bit of shimmer. Now notice this peach compared to the nude. The nude is definitely going to have a little bit more brown in there. And again, Minette has some shimmer in it. And then we have Chouchette, which is here. This is one of my favorites. This is going to be the closest to the nude shade. This is going to be more pigmented though. It's also slightly warmer, but ever so slightly. It's really more that it's a little bit more noticeable because it's a little bit deeper, blends out nicely. I would have to say the finish of these on the skin is also very similar to the La Bouche Rouge ones. These feel a little bit creamier though. If I had to pick one to use, I think I would choose the Westman Atelier over the La Bouche Rouge personally, but they're very close. And I have to say I do really enjoy all of the formulas. And then last up, I want to just swatch Mimi here. We'll put Mimi right here so you can see that one. This is also going to be similar to Nude, but this one's actually a little bit cooler, has a little bit more brown in it, but also just a touch more pink. So kind of in between Chouchette and Mimi is what you're going to get for Nude. And it's just going to be slightly lighter than those two. But again, when you blend them out, it's going to be a great finish. So I would have to say though that even when you mix the two, the nude shade just pulls slightly warmer on the skin. So I hope this was helpful. I hope these comparisons helped. I think the La Bouche Rouge products, they make a great gift. The cases alone make a great gift because anybody could easily pick either a lipstick, a highlighter, or a blush stick to go in those cases. Getting them engraved is a nice touch. So I think, you know, I love how they made those interchangeable, and I really like that concept. The refills themselves for the blushes and the highlighters are $45. Lipsticks can be $40 or $45 depending on, you know, whether it's a limited edition shade and so forth. But I would have to say that being able to purchase just the refill, having it fully functional, is really good. You know, it's a luxury beauty price. So $45 for that is actually in line with other brands. So, you know, if it's something you're interested in, I do think it's worth picking one up, testing it out. And again, you can test it out without having to purchase the case if you don't want to. So I think that's really great. Again, if you're interested in La Bouche Rouge, you can get these items sometimes on sale at like Saks or Credo or something like that. But definitely sign up for La Bouche Rouge emails as well. And if you fill up a cart, sometimes if I leave a full cart with my account signed in, you know, if I leave a full cart for a while, I'll get like a 10% off email. So it's definitely something worth trying. That's only happened to me, I think, once or twice over the years. So it's definitely not frequent, but it's always worth trying to get an extra discount if you can. But yeah, overall, I'd have to say that these are very nice. I like the colors. I wish the rose one in the highlighter was just a little bit cooler. The Rose Pop, although it's not as cool as I thought, I really like the color it is, so I'm happy with the way that it is. The nude, I wish was slightly cooler in tone. The Blanche highlighter, I love the color as is. These are great for subtle highlight. My favorite way to apply them is actually rubbing it on my finger and then tapping it on my cheekbones instead. That's my preference with those. For the blushes, my preference for application is either putting it directly on a brush first or putting it on from the stick and then blending it in with a brush. So those would be my preferences personally, but all of the different methods work, and I have to say I'm really impressed with how they turned out. I really like them. So one thing to note, these are clean beauty. They are vegan. They're cruelty-free. So they have a lot of information on their website if you're looking to see if particular ingredient doesn't agree with you. They do have full lists of their ingredients on their website, which I think is great. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you very soon. So have a great day, and thanks for watching.